Herman's taking layers off, and I'm thinking I must put another layer on. And we're on the same vehicle, we're a few feet away from each other. But I'm actually in his shadow.
Roger for you.
They're on another channel, so they're not copying me. Henry, come in.
Sorry, by Marc?
Did you hear about Skankan?
Yeah, but I'm just leaving Second Rock now. I don't know where is the Skankan.
Triple M heading north.
Copy, thank you. I will try.
Okay, you can keep me posted. I'm still with Ngala.
So thank you, man. And I'll let him turn on left Triple M north towards approaching the Impala Road from Triple M over. One station so far. So thank you. I'm just leaving Second Rock now. I will slowly try to go and check.
Morning, well, thank you.
I'm driving that car now. So thank you. See you in my job. Sure.
Well, see what's happening with this young female. I'm still convinced that there's something in that hole. Carol, if you could let us know where you're going to be in Kruger, I'm sure if you want to come this way, we can. Just getting a message from Will back at Final Control saying we can arrange access for you to the Sabi Sand to come and visit. It would be very nice to see you. Always great to see our viewers here at camp. Sometimes we get to see you when you stay here at Vuyatela or at Djuma or even neighbouring lodges. We're about an hour's drive, I would say, from Open Gate. And open closer to Satara, the camp Satara. Go ahead, Sapime. Morning, Pamela. Pamela's asking why we don't see cheetah very often. Fortunately, there's a lot of static on the radio, so I wasn't really getting most of the question. But Pamela, cheetah require open plains areas. I mean, we do have the likes of the quarantine open area and Impala Plains and that open patch at Sandy Patch that we see, but they're very, very small open areas. They're not the type of open area that the cheetah can stay on for very long periods of time. I mean, there are actually, as we speak now, there are cheetah heading up Triple M towards Impala Plains, and there is one vehicle with them. I've been monitoring that on the radio. It is on the opposite side of our traversing area, so it will take us some time to get there, and I'm certainly going to try. It's right on the edge of our broadcast range, and we will make our way there. But one of the reasons why we don't have cheetahs is because cheetah require open areas for their hunting strategies, and as you've seen with most of our game drives, we're in relatively thick bush. Now, we do get cheetah that will move through the area, making their way from some open plains in the north to others in the south as they move around. Cheetah are not as territorial as the other cats, mostly because of their habitat preference and the need for them to be on the move constantly. They are the slightest of all three of the big cats. They're very easily intimidated by other animals off of their kills. I've seen cheetah being chased from their kill by vultures, by sheer numbers of vultures. I've seen cheetah be even pressured off of their kill by jackal, and jackal are a quarter of the size of a cheetah. They're no match for a leopard or lion. Something happened. She jumped up. A little bit of a limp on her front left paw. Probably twisted an ankle or sprained a muscle, or maybe has a thorn. Still putting a lot of weight on it, so it can't be too bad. But cheetah pretty much have to be on the move, especially when they make a kill. When they make a kill, they've got to eat very, very fast, get as much of the protein in them as possible before they get chased off of the kill, and then be gone before the kill is the scent and the sight of it has been picked up by the likes of vultures and other predators, hyena too, for that matter. And considering that maybe the size of the area that cheetah move in and the size of the area that we can traverse, we can maybe move in the 10th of the size of an area that maybe one cheetah moves in, and we are merely an area that cheetah will be passing through rather than staying at. It'll be interesting to see what these cheetah are doing up near Impala Plains. They might hunt some. There are impala up there towards Sandy Patch. There's a resident herd of impala up there, so there's a good chance cheetah will hunt or make an attempt. But also, being a diurnal predator, cheetah are on the move a lot during the day. They do tend to find a safe place to sleep during the night, which is invariably the middle of an open area. I will keep track of that. Just taking this opportunity now to sit with these lions, with the prospect of something happening in case there is something in these in this termite mound in one of these burrows. Just a reminder to everybody, my name is Mark. Herman is on camera with me this morning. And now we have Sipiwe, who's directing in final control, taken over from Tara, answering your questions, or rather sending me your questions from final control, and those questions can be sent to finalcontrol@safari.tv. Very restless, this young female. We can't get to see, they don't have a very good view through this raisin bush of the other mouth to this den. That's where she's lying. Now going up to join brother and sisters. Ryan. How you doing? Good, thanks.
Best places to come in here, or should I come around to your side?
They're all on top of the termite mound, so it's probably better this side.
Marc.
Thanks, Sipiwe. Who was that from? Copy that, thanks. We need to maybe move in a way that Ryan can see this.
Come back another half meter.
Let's see if we can just go back a bit. Whoa. Okay. I can't hear you.
Shkankan Lala is triple M quite far up. Shkankan triple M Lala in quite far up.
Yeah, I know, they're near Impala Plain. Yeah. Alright. Marietta's asking about a book that I was showing you some time ago about mammals. And I'll see if I can dig it out. I've got it here with me in my book bag. But Marietta, the author's name is Jonathan Kingdon, Jon instead of John, so it's Jonathan Kingdon, Kingdon, Kingdon. That good? As far as I know, the book is called Field Guide to African Mammals. Yeah, if you want to do this, Simon. There you go. Marietta wanting this information.
Who's the author? Is the author at the bottom here?
Get in on this. Yeah. And there's the ISBN number. That's for Marietta in, where is that? Bucharest. For Budapest. Copy, thanks. Perhaps we should make a move. Let's head up, see if we can get to those cheetah. Have fun. There was one big male warthog that was in the den, and he eventually dashed out of there. But he was so big, they all sort of, whoa, too big for us. And I think there's maybe more, because that one young female's very nosy, and that male's every now and then he digs at the other entrance behind that raisin bush. And I'm gonna head off, so enjoy. See if we can find those skunk later. Bye everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Cheers, guys. For sure.
Shop. It helps if I put it in gear, then it helps when we can drive. Just see if you can see anything through there, Berman, inside. Is it a little bit too low to see in the den?
Bluetooth.
Okay, it's going to be a long drive to get to where the cheetah are, because they are almost on the opposite end of the world for us. And I'm thinking our best bet is going to be probably
Hello,
okay.
JP. I take it that you guys are back where you are supposed to be. I'm sure you had a wonderful time in Namibia. I spent some time with JP and Anne at the wedding and also in Damaraland, and it's good to know that you guys are safe, and hope to see you and Anne again soon. Thank you very much for the hello.
Good morning from me, JP. Just to let you know, we have had so far 2 of your magazines have arrived. I'm going to go and check it for your tailor again today to see if we had, I think, somehow February and April, or it was March and April. We got our March and April copies. So I'm sure our May copy is somewhere at Taylor in our mail, in our in tray at Taylor. Check on that today sometime. So Dardu was asking, we've got a long road to go and try. We've got to try and get to these cheetah. As I was saying earlier, we had a question about cheetah and why we don't see them very often. And since we don't see them very often, and then we do have a possibility of catching up with them, remote possibility. But however remote, we're going to try our best. Dardu was asking how long can a lion or lioness go without food before the effects are noted. Well, several days is the short answer, but there's no real short answer in nature, because much the same way as I answer many things, I start my answer with it depends, because it depends on so many factors. There's never really a set figure. I mean, a lion could go for up to a week, maybe even 10 days at a push under severe conditions. It largely depends on what it last ate, of course. Not only that, but how much of what it last ate it managed to consume, because of course lions in a pride situation, a group situation, each have different quantities that they consume from a kill. Some get bigger portions than others. And then there's also the ratio of males to females, the ratio of adults to young, and the size of the animal that it was that they last ate. But having had a full meal, let's say a pride of lion have been on a buffalo or a giraffe kill, which is a pretty big animal and a pretty big meal that will take a couple of days to consume. Actually, I'm just going to pause while we go through the Mulwati River. I'm going to do Twin Dams, go up to Weaver's Nest, maybe Rebecca's Road, up to Zoe's. Oh, banded mongoose. A whole colony of banded mongoose, and we don't see them very often, and sadly they're very, very shy. And all of them running for cover. Maybe some of them will pause, and there we go, having at least pausing to look back and saying hello to us. Gorgeous morning light. Sun's starting to warm everything up now. This colony will be heading out for the day, foraging together. Incredible thing, the banded mongoose, when they are faced with a predator, they band together. That's not why they're called banded. They're called banded because they have bands, stripes on their backs, but they band together and form a very, very tight-knit group, and they intimidate an aggressor in a manner that makes it look like one large animal. Obviously they don't stand on each other's shoulders at all, but as a very tight-knit group, it's very hard for some animals to make out individuals, especially with all the stripes that break up the outline of the animal, and well, they can be quite intimidating. Sorry, Supiwe, I don't know, maybe I can tell you on the radio, but I'm not getting anything, I'm just getting static. This is a bad radio area. If you could just wait a little bit, maybe I can get that question again in a minute or so when we get past Twin Dams. But radio, very low down here. That's one of the lowest points in our traversing range, so we do tend to have sometimes signal breakups, and sometimes, well, mostly no radio comms. Elephants have been here. Broken piece of leadwood. Hello, plover. Blacksmith lapwing announcing our arrival at Twin Dam. I'm guessing that it's us that it's shouting at. Still talking about Dadu's answer about lions and their diets and going without food. I don't think there's really much more that I can add. Other than, there's also the other side of it, is the energy flow of things. Not much happening. Pair of blacksmith lapwings here. Looks like there's been a lot of elephant here at Twin Dams. A lot of the vegetation has been cleared away, submerged, taken out. Aha. What are you shouting at, squirrel? Oh, looking at something down here in the riverbed. Squirrel is frantic, looking down into the riverbed. I think we'll just have to go and have a look quickly. Hopefully signal will be okay down there, but squirrel is apoplectic. Fresh elephant dung. Been elephant here quite recently. Not seeing any tracks here yet. So what is it, squirrel, that you were so frantic about? Something down here. We are now right below the squirrel. Squirrel stopped. We are now in the riverbed below it, where it was shouting. Shouting more or less in this direction, but I'm not seeing anything. I'm hoping to see the white tip of a tail. For those of you who know what the white tail could mean. Tracks here in the sand. I'm not seeing anything at all. Yellow-vented bulbul, common bulbul, shouting. There has been something around. The fact that I'm not seeing tracks doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean very much. Well, we're going to go back. On a two-way lane, looking for and heading for these cheetah, if we can get to them. That squirrel was so frantic, and then just as suddenly as it started shooting, there it is. One of them, a couple of squirrels here. You see it, it's a youngster, it's a tiny one, eh?
Yeah.
Hopefully we got signal here. I'm hoping we have. Tiny little squirrel. One of the young... a very young squirrel. One of the youngsters of the adult that was shouting earlier. I'm hearing a francolin now. Something crossed this riverbed and has now moved on to the eastern bank. I'm guessing a leopard. Just left a lot of those Ngala, Ryan from Arathu there. Okay, that's a bit of a fib. Not just left them a few minutes ago. See if we can find any tracks here, maybe give some indication of what, if anything, was around. So far, no luck. So let's see what's happening with. Is there any news on those cheetahs? Any station with Kankang? Stand by 1 minute, 50 way. I'm just going to go through this dip. Okay, try now. Copy, thanks. Mike. Morning, Mike. Question from Mike regarding wild dog. And Mike wants to know, is it possible that, well, I think it was more a question about wild dog being in the same area as cheetah. It's possible that wild dog are in the same area as cheetah, since we don't see, or we haven't seen either of them overhanging broken branches from elephants. Well, I guess the question arises because we haven't seen, or we don't see both wild dog and cheetah very often, and both of them, I guess the reasons are the same for both, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the wild dog and the cheetah are in the same place. In fact, not likely that they are. Let me sorry, I'm just looking at tracks here going into the riverbed. We've got hyena and hippo, but that's, oops, stall car. Let's see on this other road. This is the crossing at Mamba Road. Hyena coming out of the riverbed. No indication what the squirrels were shouting at. Wild dog and cheetah, while they might be absent from Djuma for the same reasons to some degree, they are completely different. Well, no, let me try and rephrase this. They have different habitat requirements, and their hunting methods are different, and the type of ground that they cover is different. So it's not really got any. One doesn't really have much to do with the other regarding wild dog and cheetah, other than they roam vast areas, the wild dog, and any given area there's only ever likely to be one pack of dogs that are moving in that area, and because they move over such a wide area, it takes a long time for them to get back to an area where they have been, unless they're denning, of course, and they're denning close by, then one is likely to see them periodically. But when they're on the move, they're on the move. They've got to be in a different place every day, virtually. Station West Kankan? Yes, not. We'll make our way to that area and we'll have a look. Just coming past Chelapan now. We're heading up towards Weaver's Nest. Doesn't look like much happening in this area. It's remarkably green for this time of the year because of the late rains we had in April. But these cold snaps that we're having now, it's been pretty cold this morning. I'm led to believe it's not the first cold morning, and it's going to change things considerably. Colder temperatures, shorter days, sun moving more into the northern hemisphere. Plants are going to be starting to withdraw their nutrients from their leaves. Leaves turning colors and falling. Grass is dying back. Henry, come in. Must be having a tea break, coffee break. Able again? Abel's not talking either. Oh well. We will get there. Thank you, Sipiwe. Jerry. Morning to you, Squire. Wanting to know if Herman and I could share some photos from our trip. Well, Herman, I guess, so I don't know what, I'll let Herman answer his. But as far as mine, I got maybe 3 or 4 sunset shots of the sun going over the ocean. It's the only time I used my camera.
I didn't use my camera too often either, because I wanted to enjoy my holiday. But I got some nice shots as well. Took some with my phone, and I'll be sure to put them up in the next few weeks. Also, mostly landscape shots. As I said earlier this morning, it was quite nice to drive through so many different landscapes.
I had one evening. The one evening I had the most spectacular sunset over the ocean. I didn't have the camera with me, naturally. And the only other evening that there was just a glimpse of the sun, I managed to take a few photographs of the waves crashing over the harbour wall. But really, to be honest, I couldn't even go out with I didn't even go outdoors. I spent most of my leave indoors. I can't emphasize how bad the weather was. It was gale force, literally gale force winds. Trees were being blown over. It was constant. And the rain that was coming, these squalls of very, very heavy rain. And because of the wind, the rain comes in sideways. And a stinging rain with the strength of that wind. It wasn't even nice being in a vehicle. It was.
Don't you just love Cape Town?
I just love Cape Town.
Marc.
Would have loved to have had someone with me for that weather.
What? I mean?
Go ahead, Henry.
Marc, we're leaving the Skankan, one station on lock, Impala Place, they just Lalaban.
Excellent, thanks. Yeah, I'm on Rebecca's Road making my way there now. Which station unlocked?
Hilton.
Sorry, repeat that?
Hilton.
Okay, copy, thanks.
So thank you. By this Mahalat, close by the Skankan there. So, yeah, they might try to go for the Mahalat.
Copy, thanks.
Okay.
Oh, I found something I need for the garden. One of the bulbs, one of the geophytes, pulled up by elephants. Still a few roots that have started again on it. Not too sure what it is, but we're going to put it in the garden as I've done with others. And it's not going to do anything because we're going into winter now, but it'll be summer before it shows any sign of growth. And word from Henry that cheetah are lying up on Impala Plains. A good chance we're going to get signal from there. We might break up as we go over the ridge to Impala Plains, but I'm hoping that we should get a good signal once we're there. Somebody's been walking here, probably trekking. Hello starlings and drongos. Morning. Hello little drongo. Please stay there. Hello. Oh, that's even better in the sun. Watching the grasses as we drive by to see if any insects are chased up. So as long as I move, the drongo is going to move with us. Come little one. Let's go. I'll show you a grasshopper or two. Where was I? Before I was interrupted by a bulb on the ground and Henry on the radio. And thoughts of cheetah, gosh, oh, we're talking about photographs and things. So sadly, there's not going to be anything coming. I'll put one or two of those. I think I got one nice sunset shot if I blow it up with a seagull flying in front of it. But other than that, I don't think I've got much. The weather was so bad I couldn't even work on my bonsai trees. I've lost so many of them. Hot, dry summer of the Cape dried out some of my best ones. Some of the ones I had growing in and over rocks. Somehow those are the ones that all succumbed first. Fever tree forest that a beautiful fever tree forest that been on a slab of granite, pink granite, for the last 10 years, and the trees are well over 15 years old. The biggest one was about 2 inches in diameter, stood about 2.5, 3 feet high. Really, really sad to have lost that little forest. I lost the stinkwood forest, a forest of well over 25 trees in a small round pot. The tallest tree in the forest must have been about 6 inches, and they were about 10 years old. Lost them. Lost some of our best acacias. But I brought back a tambuti. I brought back probably my best tree of all. Not best. Well, it's the tree that has the most sentimental value, I guess. They all have sentimental value. They all have incredibly strong sentimental value.
Come in. Good morning, Tigos.
But this is a tambuti that I started from seed in Tanzania, and after 1998, I think it was about 97 that I started it, so it's what, 13 years old. 1998, with the El Nino floods, that peninsula was practically entirely washed away by the Rufiji River, and most of the adult tambutis where this seed came from were washed into the Rufiji River and washed out into the ocean. So it's an orphan. I managed to bring it back very carefully, hand luggage. Got put in a special compartment in the crew's cabin on the aeroplane. So we're on Rebecca's Road, heading up towards Zoe's. We're going to cross over Zoe's and go down towards Impala Plains, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a good signal, folks, because it's looking like we have a very good chance of seeing cheetah this evening. This evening for you, this morning for us. They are only a few hundred yards away, as long as they don't move in the next...
I haven't seen cheetah in the last year.
In the last year?
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing when we were sitting with the lion. I don't think you copied that on the radio. I think it was Jamie was saying hello. It was the first time he was seeing you on the vehicle, because I think Jamie was relatively new and you were doing all the editing the last couple of weeks before we went on leave.
Hello, Jamie.
That was Zoe's road we just crossed. Hilton, let me see if I can chat to Hilton. Hilton, come in. Hilton. Hilton coming for Marc. Probably got his radio turned down. Don't blame him. Sounds like the vehicles all head out earlier than us these days. Because they're all heading back to camp now. And we've still got some time to play. Elephant. Oops. There was a red-crested bustard next to the road that flew up. Sadly, a marula tree that was, looks like it was broken. Huge branch that was tore down, maybe wind, maybe elephant, and has been chopped up, taken off the road. Anyways, we've got more important things than chopped up marula trees. It's really sad. Although there's some nice logs there that we can use for sitting around the fire, come to think of it. Maybe we'll come back here a little bit later with the vehicle and pick a couple of them up. Big chunky trunks of chunky trunks logs, marula logs. Only problem is when they start getting dry, the bark starts lifting off, and then you get scorpions hiding behind the bark where it lifts away from the log. Before you know it, you've got a scorpion in your bum. Only kidding, doesn't happen. Right, I see a vehicle, pile of planes, holding thumbs that looks like elephant have been pretty busy here the last week or so. So we stay this side and let's go and see some cheetah. I love cheetah. Hilton, come in. Pointing in a different direction.
There they are.
Yeah, there they are. Hilton's watching from another angle. There's some impala way off of the open area. I think Hilton's hoping that they're going to get there. That looks like a mother and a youngster. Maybe not. Guessing from this distance. Oh, just getting up.
Give me a sec that I can have a look at it.
Just stop from this distance first. Look at that beautiful cat. Absolutely gorgeous. Superior, please confirm signal's fine. Thank you. Gonna have a stretch. It's a big cat. I'm wondering if that's not a tom. I'm gonna sneak a bit closer now.
Give me a sec that I can see this.
Let's stretch. Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's have a look, see if these impala are seen these cheetah. Can't hear any alarm calls as yet. Actually, Herman, we need to be a little bit more to the east of them, get better sunlight on them. This way, and we get to see the impala off. Impala straight ahead of us. Still, we'll possibly get closer to the cheetah, but I don't want to right now. The impala are somewhat alert, but they don't seem to be alarming at all. This must be a mother and youngster. You can still see a little bit of fluff at the back of the head of the youngster lying down. She's a big cheetah. She's a big individual. Very big individual. We are so lucky. And the last 2 times I've seen cheetah here have been very fleeting glimpses on the edges of our traversing range as they've crossed over corners. There was that one big male, I think both times were with Peter. There was one time at the junction of Zoe's and Gowrie Main, and then he crossed over onto the other side of Gowrie Main, and then there was another experience with a mother with her 2 youngsters on Cheetah Cutline junction with Buffalo Cutline, and then they crossed into Torchwood very quickly. So we're very, very lucky to have them actually resting up in the open area. She's quite alert. That beautiful sphinx-like pose, which is very typical of a cheetah. Go ahead, Sipiwe. Confirm from Jenny. Oh, okay. Jamie wants to know if cheetah are bigger than leopard. Jamie, cheetah are very much taller than leopard. I think body weight they can be pretty much the same weight. Cheetah are just taller, longer, and very slimmer than leopard. Leopard are very short-legged, stocky, round-bodied, muscular cats. Cheetah have given up all that muscle for their lithe, thin, athletic frame. So cheetah will stand a lot taller than a leopard. If I could just quickly get an idea from. I don't think I can even find the height that they stand. I'd say body measurements are very, very similar in terms of the length of the body, the length of the tail. We're looking at this big cheetah female. She's probably about as long as one of, say, a big tom leopard maybe, but she's going to stand very much taller than him. Okay, little ones getting a bit playful and relaxing. They're relaxing a bit. The impala feeding, things are relaxing enough for me to move. I want to get a little bit closer so we can see some finer details of these cheetah. We can zoom in on some finer details. It does take us a little bit further down the slope, so hopefully we're still going to get some signal there. Oh, I don't want to be blocking Hilton's view, so I didn't want to try and be careful. I don't want to be blocking the view of the impala, of the cheetah's view of impala. I also don't want to be drawing too much attention to the cheetah. You're welcome, Pamela. Pamela asking us about cheetah this morning, and it's not very often that we're lucky enough to have somebody asking about cheetah and why we don't see them very often, only to then have this wonderful opportunity to be able to sit with them. And I'm just trying to move into a position where the impala are directly behind the cheetah, and at the moment the cheetah are just hidden from view. So the impala, if the impala, oh, got color bars. That must be signal. Huh?
Is it back? I don't know.
Is it back now or not?
I still don't understand. Is it back or not?
Confirm we have picture. Thanks, Sapira. Sorry, lost picture there briefly. I don't know if you can see, Herman, from your angle, whether you can see any of the impala in the distance. But I've tried to position us in a way that the impala, this is all straight line from us to, look at this little one. It's getting a little bit restless, wants to play. A good chance it had some siblings once upon a time. I'm really sad that we don't see them that often, because it's really wonderful keeping track of cheetah the way we do lion and leopard. And I have done in the past. My younger days, there were times when I was very lucky to be able to follow cheetah and their cubs right throughout the lives of the cubs. We are not in a great position to see them and some of the features I wanted to talk about, mostly because they got their back to us now. But method my madness for the time being. We do have some time here. We might have to do an official close down at 9:30, but I think under the circumstances I'm quite happy to sit here for a little bit longer if the batteries are not going to be beeping on us. Hello, gorgeous child. It's like a young female. Very striking feature of a cheetah that is very different to that of a leopard's features, of that distinctive black tear mark running from the eye down to the corner of the mouth, that we call the tear mark, or the tear line. And supposedly a black line that helps absorb light and glare for a diurnal hunter. We know that a lot of the diurnal aerial hunting birds, like bee-eaters and rollers and things, have all got, and shrikes for that matter, have these black masks. Difference in the tail of the leopard and the cheetah? Well, the similarity is the white tip to the tail. That's got a lot to do with body language. But the one major difference is a leopard's tail, very, very rounded, very, very thick, very muscular, to help with balance in a tree during climbing, as opposed to, if we can make it out, the tail of the cheetah, which is flattened, what we would call dorsoventrally, vertically flattened, and it actually does act as a rudder. during high-speed chases. I think she's just seen some movement now for the first time. Maybe not the first time. I think she's... maybe not. There's a very thick bush that just hides her from the impala and hides the impala from her view. I think if she saw them, she would skirt the edges of the open area and chase them onto the open area. There's a very good chance that can happen too. Gloria. 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 How do cheetah hunt? Socially, in groups, or rather collectively, like lion? Or do they hunt solitary? Kind of a little bit of both, Gloria. But generally, they're solitary hunters, and generally... Oh! She bowled her daughter over. Very much more cat-like in their movements and their rubbing and their... There's just so much... Although, actually, they... in a genus are all on their own. Acinonyx. Also, the only big cat that purrs. But Gloria, cheetah generally hunt on their own. I mean, under the circumstances, if she was to go hunting, this youngster wouldn't play any role in the hunt whatsoever. She would demand that it stays behind and gets out of the way. Very important in cheetah that the youngsters view the hunt, that they watch what's happening, and that is possible only because they hunt in open areas. And one of the reasons why cheetah hunt, or a cheetah's hunting ability, is something that is more learned than instinctive as it is with leopard, because leopard, being a predator that lives in relatively thick bush and being a solitary animal, there isn't really an opportunity for all young leopards to actually watch their mother hunt under most circumstances. And so for this particular cheetah, she will hunt alone, but then different circumstances require different things. So if you have a situation where you have, say, 3 sub-adults, or even go back beyond the 3, before they become 3 sub-adults, 3 siblings growing up with their mother, it's not that they hunt collectively or cooperatively. It's more that they try and hunt the same animal, and each one is trying to bring it down on their own. I have seen 2 male cheetah that I watched for many hunts, where one would chase the animal into the other one. Look at this, playing. She wants to concentrate on things, and little one just wants a game. I could see that coming actually earlier, when little one was rolling and rubbing on the ground. Look at that incredible emotional sort of moment there between the 2, and then she kicks her off. Leave me alone, child. I'm looking for lunch, breakfast, dinner, all 3 of the above, since we haven't eaten for a day or 2. Looking at that hollow in their tummy. But also that kind of behavior of the youngsters is likely to spur the mom on to go off and find something. I seriously don't think she knows that those impala are there. Brian asking any guesses on the age of the cub. I didn't even think of that when I was looking at it. I've got to think back to my days of watching cheetah. I would say probably about 9 months old, maybe.
Guys, as I'm leaving Marc and lost with these 2 stone cans, 2 smaller ponds on Mara area.
Thanks, Hilton. I don't even think she's seen those marla. I don't think he's got his radio on. Anyways, all ours. Lodges are gone back. And now that they have left, I'm going to move so we can see it. We can get a different view once again. I want to maximize our time with her and her youngster. Okay, that was just, sorry madam, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna back off. Youngster didn't get up, but she did. Mike! Are cheetah members of the cat family? Because they don't have retractable claws. So much for being on our own. We're not. I can see another vehicle. Was that on Triple M?
She's going, I think she has seen that
heading
Impala.
straight to the Impala. And she's keeping hidden. That was just a vehicle on Triple M. We'll just stop here for a minute. Mike, cheetah are members of the cat family. And they don't have retractable claws, but they do have protractile claws. In other words, they can extend their claws. They can't, not that they can't draw them in. It's just an evolutionary adaptation to their method of hunting. Now, leopard and lion tend to stalk their prey, so they need to be quiet. Their claws need to be retracted. She's now going into hunt mode. You can see her. She's starting to stalk. Very light. She's quite skinny. Youngster's now taking note of her posture. I don't know if I can do it this time, but I've been able to be in cheetah hunts where it has been my luck to have them actually pull the Impala down virtually in front of the vehicle. But here, youngster is learning from mom, trying to copy mom in her posture. Unfortunately, unless youngster stays put, youngster's the one that can mess up the hunt by doing something too quickly. We're going to try and keep up with them as they're creeping closer. Now, this kind of stalking is not meant to be quiet, so cheetah doesn't need to retract its claws, as opposed to a leopard that has to stalk very close to its, and a claw that is not, well, claws that are not retracted will make a noise. So at rest, some of the cats, their claws are pulled in, so it's only their pads that make the noise. Well, they don't make a noise really. Pads that are silent. And since they have to use speed more than anything else, eating spikes really, that's what it's more about. Cheetah, the kind of running predator that it is, okay, she's still a little bit too far to make a dash for it now. The Impala are getting some hint that something's up. She's got to get about half this distance before she can make a rush at them. And she's probably going to wait until she can see them relaxing, see some of the tails flicking, before she tries to make a move again. And she's going to stalk more from not being seen and rather than being heard, because I don't think the Impala are going to be able to hear her at this distance anyway. And that burst of speed that she needs, she's going to need those claws at rest, extended, or rather present, for want of a better word, when she's running, digging into the ground, giving her grip. Remember, an animal is not running in a straight line. They are zigzagging. There are obstacles constantly in their way. They've got to leap over things. They've got to run around things. The prey species is zigzagging, trying to get away, and the cheetah needs to be chasing it and changing changing direction constantly. That's where this flattened tail comes in, helping to throw the body weight to one side, also aerodynamically helping it to turn to some degree. I mean, if anybody's ever driven a car at, say, even 50 kilometers an hour, 35 miles an hour, which is pretty slow for a hunting speed for a cheetah, and you put your hand out the window and angle it into the wind and see how the wind moves your arm up and down. That's pretty much what happens when a cheetah's in a full tilt running after an animal, using that tail not only for balance but helping to turn, helping it steer, and similar to that of a rudder of a boat. It is getting a bit hot in the sun, so having moved to the shade is something she would be doing anyway. Not picking up any radio transmission there. If you were trying to say something. Just looking at the time, we're getting close towards the end of drive time. Hoping that we've still got signal here. Speedway, come in. Final control, do you copy? Eish, I don't know. Let me move just in case we don't have signal.
Superior, confirm we have signal here.
Not getting them on my radios. I don't think we'll get them.
I just heard a.
Yeah. Okay, copying it now. Yeah, I just need to know if we got signal. I'm not sure if we had signal there. Okay, copy that. Well, folks, this has been Mark and Herman on the jigger for our first drive after coming back from leave. Tara and Sipiwe back in final control. We're going to be closing off the drive for now. We're still going to be with the cheetah after we close off and see what happens. This is getting far too interesting to disappear. But from Mark on the vehicle and Herman on the camera, thanks for joining us. And we're looking forward to the next 6 weeks of fun with you. Bye for now. Okay. Thank you, Tara, and you're back with us, because there's no way we can go anywhere right now. These impala are sort of edging a little bit closer this way. They seem to be relaxing a little bit more, and this could take another hour or two to manifest, but something is going to happen very soon. I'm looking at the distance between this cheetah and these impala, probably less than 100 yards. She needs to be a little bit closer to make a rush. There's a little bit too much in the way of long grass and obstacles, fallen trees, and some bush. She should, if she was like any other cheetah I've known from my past, skirt around the edge of the open area, along the edge of the bushland, the bush, and come at them from behind so that they run out into the open area. At this angle that she's at, if she gets seen, they're going to run into thicker bush. It's going to hinder her chances of making a successful hunt. But as it goes right now, they are wandering a little bit closer, directly out of line of sight of her. Well, they can't see her. She can obviously see one or two of them on the fringes. But if they were, let's say, 90 yards a couple of minutes ago, they're now 85. And some of them edging closer and closer as I speak. They need to halve that distance before she can do anything. That will give her a remote possibility of success. I'm still talking about their claws, their retractable claws, protractile claws. Well, cheetah are cats in every other way. The fact that they don't have retractable claws doesn't take them out of the cat family. But what it does do is it does create different physiology, which takes them away from the genus Panthera, which are the lion and leopard, and puts it into a category of its own in the subfamily of in the genus of the different genera of that cats have. This is the cheetah's name is Acinonyx jubatus. The smaller cats are known as Felis, Felis, and the other genera within the feline family. She's getting a bit nervous with birds that are flocking around her. There's some starlings hanging around in the buffalo thorn that are also likely to disturb her hunt. As soon as she starts moving and they start calling, shouting at her, there's a good chance that will draw the attention of the impala. Well, in front of the herd, I see one ram there. In front of the herd, is now even a few yards closer. Copy, thanks for PWA. Please repeat that name. Scatterling. Scatterling of Africa. One of our scatterlings is asking a question. How similar are cheetah to domestic cats with their purring and their tail wagging and their grooming? Very, very similar. In fact, closer, I would say, I have to admit, much closer than lion or leopard. When I look at domestic cats, I love cats, and I love all cats. But when it comes to domestic cats, I can never understand why people don't like cats. But I can understand why some dog lovers don't like cats, to some degree. I don't fully understand it, but we won't get into the politics of dog lovers and cat lovers. Other than most dog lovers don't like cats, but cat lovers love dogs and cats. Go figure. But when I look at a domestic cat, I see the qualities of all the big cats. And that's from years of living with the big cats, as well as growing up with domestic cats and being very, very close to domestic cats. I've raised a cat from a day old. It was given to me by a dog. Well, no, it wasn't given to me. I had to take it away. It was a feral cat that was taken out of the veld by a little Jack Russell. And that's another long story. And her name was Duma, D-U-M-A. And it was only many years after I called her Duma that I discovered that the Swahili name for a cheetah is Juma, or rather Duma. I'm confusing this with Duma now. I mean Juma. I'm getting tongue-tied now with Dumas and Jumas. Uh-oh, something disturbed them from the back, and they actually ran towards us. Something gave them a spook from the back, so they are now suddenly a third closer than they were. Her head's gone flat. She got a little bit interested. She needs to get her youngster to stay low. But I'm rambling on because we're waiting for something to happen, and while we're waiting for something, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. They are hungry, and there is a there's a deli in front of them. But yes, watching domestic cats, I see the qualities of all of the big cats. But most of all, I see cheetah when I see domestic cats. And having watched cheetah so much in my life, I first see cheetah, and then every now and then a domestic cat does something that looks like a leopard, and every now and then, especially in a situation where you've got more than one domestic cat in a social situation, you start seeing the odd quality of lion. especially when domestic cats are sleeping, then they mostly resemble lion. But there's so much more to a cheetah's behavior that has domestic cat behavior in it. And yeah, purring is one of them. The tail movements, I think, is universal with all the cats. It doesn't always mean the cat is angry when the tail is wagging. Sometimes it's playful, sometimes it's, well, there's a range of emotions in the tail movements of a cat and the ear movements of a cat. And if we look at her and see how flattened her ears are. Now there are times when that posture with the ears could mean outright aggression. But there's a subtle difference between the aggression shown by ears flat of a cat and this kind of ear movement where she's flattening her ears because she doesn't want them to stick up above her head. She doesn't want to be seen. She doesn't want to be standing out above the grasses that they're going to see her. Because if they see her, they're going to move off in the other direction. And as it is now, they're coming slowly they're coming closer and closer. I'm not in a great position for the hunt if it happens, but right now we're in no position to move. Sometimes one can almost read what will happen in a hunt, and you can almost position yourself in a way that it'll work. I think where Hilton was earlier, he was sitting in a pretty good place for it to happen. But we've now got ourselves in a situation where with these impala directly ahead of us, they're still coming closer and closer, and she is just about, 10 o'clock to our left. Distance between them can't be more than 50 or 60 yards by now. They need to come in a little bit more. Come into my lair, said the spider to the fly. If that young cheetah doesn't sit down, it's going to mess up the hunt. But she can't take her eyes off of the impala to see what the youngster is doing to reprimand it. So she's just going to have to live with whatever happens right now. If they see her and they make a bolt for it, she might just, for Dufka's sake, maybe just go for it and hope for the best. But we're also looking at a nice large herd of impala, and while it might look easy for her to rush at them and maybe get one, that's not really the way that it happens. She's got to watch them carefully, and she's got to look at the one that maybe isn't paying attention, not necessarily the one that is injured or old, because it might not be in a position for her to actually separate it from the herd. She's looking for that one impala that is like the ram now. She's looking for that one impala that is a little bit inattentive, and she's going to have to go for that impala and pretty much commit herself to that impala, and sometimes she will even have an easier catch to the side of her as she goes for that one, but it's more detrimental for her to change targets mid-hunt than it is for her to actually bring one down that she's aimed for, even if it is next to her. So I took my eyes off the cheetah. Where's she gone? Or is she gone flat? Now that looks like little one there.
No, that's mother.
Little one.
No, that's mother.
Is that mum? Where's little one?
Just closer, just next to her.
So then she's finally maybe made a slight chirp and told little one to lie down flat. Where are my binoculars? Pretty good question there, Pamela. Why is cheetah's head so small? A lot of it has got to do with power and weight and speed and the like. Look how flat she's trying to get flat. There's a female wandering off to the left of the herd that's likely to see her. I think she might be going. That's one that she might go for. She's moving.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening. She's off. Grass is slowing her down. She's going after some youngsters in the background. Oh my word. Youngsters also rushing off. Okay. Things have happened out of vision, out of sight of us. She didn't look like she was going in full speed there. The impala that ran off to the right into the open area were the ones that she should have gone for. But as I said, she would have made. In fact, she pretty much did what I said. She had made a choice and she went for that one. The one that she went for happened to run into some very thick bush. And I'm hoping we're going to stay with this. You're going to stay with us with the signal.
There's still some impala
There's
running.
still some
all the way
impala
at the
running
back
at
there.
the background. And this herd of impala are now actually running back towards. They're snorting. They're trying to get a visual. Okay, I'm going to stop talking just in case we lose signal. I'm going to go and see what happened. We'll see if signal stays with us.
Watch out, watch out.
Okay, another question from Pamela. Oh, Gloria.
Oh, there they are. 11 o'clock.
Will cheetah attack the hyena? No, Gloria. Cheetah doesn't really attack anything. When a cheetah sees another predator, it runs away because much the same, small heads and thin bodies and athletic. They are not very powerful. They're not very strong animals. We're just going to stop here and see. She's I don't know. The youngster's off somewhere else. She's probably going to be calling it. Yeah, I can hear her calling it. It's like a bird sound. It's like very high pitched, cheap. Let's see if we get a bit closer to her. Maybe we can hear that. I'm not sure if she was successful. I don't think she was successful. Or is this youngster? Oh, this is youngster. So we're going to sit with little one because we don't know where mom is. There you can see it calling. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear it. It's a very low, high-pitched chirp. I don't want to try and mock the sound. I don't want to interfere right now.
Sure,
I think
it
mom
really
is
sounds
still...
like a bird sound.
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never heard this.
Now, a dilemma for this little one. It doesn't want to call so loud that it can be heard. There, it's now calling louder. That it can be heard by the likes of lion or hyena, because it is in... Even a leopard will kill this youngster. Possible. If mom made the kill, mom is now throttling that impala, so it's not going to be able to call back. Go away, fly. I'm busy now. Hoping that that sound is at least coming through, starting to call a little bit louder. If mom isn't answering, as I say, it could be because mom's got its mouth around the throat of an impala. And our best bet is to just wait and see what happens. We could try and look for mom, but then we might lose them both. And it'll take a few minutes. If she did manage to catch one, might take a few minutes before she's able to catch her breath and call the little one. Yeah, I think she's just heard, unfortunately, a vehicle on the road drowning out the sound. We're very close to one of the very main roads that come into the reserve.
Oh, I heard it as well now.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fumbling. Oh, she's still going that way.
Huh? Very thick down there. The road. Okay, just give me a minute. I've got to just try and find them again. We'll see if we can get signal again. But if not, then we'll.
Going to 1 o'clock.
Hello everyone, Paul speaking with the final control. We apologize about the bad signal at the moment. We're still on the drive now, so at the moment we still at Gary, but the drive's still on. So as soon as everything will be ready that side, we'll cut back to you. Thanks, stay tuned.
Well, we're back, folks. We followed the youngster, and she ran across Triple M boundary, and of course, as you noticed there, we lost signal because we don't have signal on that road. If Mom did do something, if she did manage to catch this impala, it happened across the boundary, and we might find out about it later this afternoon. Sorry, flies are pretty intense here. We're sitting now, actually, where we're going to just say goodbye to you, is right where we started with the cheetah. Impala, some of them off to our left, the herd scattered, probably split up into several groups all over the place, and unfortunately we don't know. I didn't hear any death scream or anything, but that means nothing as far as a cheetah hunt is concerned, because they'll close the windpipe and they'll prevent an animal from making a sound, because they don't want anything to be attracted to the site of a kill. As I was saying, cheetah being very, very slight animals, they're intimidated very easily and chased off of a kill very easily. and it's very important in her condition. Well, she's in a good condition, but she's looking pretty hungry. And it's very important for her and the youngster to be alone now for the rest of the day, and that's very convenient that all the vehicles are back in the lodges and we're heading away now. We're going to leave them alone. Well, we have no choice really, and they will be in peace for the rest of the day. Wow, to have a first drive like that back after leave is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Been a long time since I've seen that kind of action from Cheetah. I'm speechless almost. I think, Herman, it's probably the first time you've heard them calling each other like that.
Definitely, and the first time I've seen them even go for a hunt.
And you were on camera for it.
And I'm on camera for it. That's brilliant.
Well, thanks for that great camera work. Sipiwe and Tara, thanks for everything in final control. We're going to be heading back now and getting the jigger on charge for this afternoon. Thanks for joining me. My name is Mark. You've been with us on Safari TV here at Djuma Game Reserve live. Bye for now.